Good day, this is Jason here from 1 Hour Forex, and today is November 24th, 2011. I want to say happy Thanksgiving to all my friends south of the border from me up here in Canada. You're all going to have a nice, whatever, turkey, ham, something dinner tonight. Try not to eat too much. It's not good to stuff yourself. Okay. Anyway, it's not Thanksgiving here in Canada. We had ours about 5 weeks ago. Okay. I want to get into a few things here today because I'm still getting lots of emails from folks that they're not understanding a lot of things. So I want to try and make things clear to you. Okay. Scenario number one. I've gotten, I don't know, about 7 emails of people saying, where is the support and resistance lines? Okay, well, you have to draw in the support and resistance lines. It says this clearly in the video. Just because there were some lines on the chart when I started the video doesn't mean that they paint there by themselves. Okay? I told you in the video you needed to come up to here to your horizontal line, okay? And you click on that, and then it'll bring, and then you click on the chart, and it'll draw the horizontal line, which is your support and resistance, okay? This is resistance up here, where it bounced off and did a double top today off of basically these candles right here, okay? And there was more support down here, okay? So see right here where this candle came down and this candle came down? Look at this candle here, how it came to a T and hit that and retraced back up. Why did it do that? Because support and resistance traders buy off of support and sell, like they sold right up here, off of resistance. Okay? So I'm glad I covered that, and I hope everybody understands that now. It's you got to find the support and resistance lines and draw them in, okay? And I showed you in the video how you squish the chart. Okay, you come up here and you where is that? Right here. And you zoom out. Okay, so if you zoom out, you'll make the chart squish together. Okay, you zoom out again, you'll squish it even more. Okay, so then you would take your tool and you draw in a line, say right here, where price has touched more than once in the past. Okay, you draw another one up here. Look at how many times it came up here and here and here and here and here. Okay, this is how you draw in support and resistance lines. Okay, it's not an indicator that automatically paints them on there for you. Okay, there's indicators out there that do that, but believe me, you don't want to clutter up your charts with a bunch of indicators. That was the whole sole reason and purpose that I put this system together, is that I want to get rid of all the moving averages, get rid of all these silly arrows and dots and pink polka dots from the boogeyman on Sesame Street. I want to get rid of all that stuff. You know what I'm trying to say? And we want to use pure price action to get in the trades. Okay? And this is where I spent many, many months in front of my screen staring and staring and staring. Because I know that it happens all the time. They buy and they sell off resistance. But I never had any good indicator that you can put on the chart that tells you this. So the only thing that can tell you this is to get rid of all the indicators and look at the price bounce off of support or bounce off of resistance, okay? Like it did today. It bounced off of right here. See these 3 candles and these 2 candles? That's where it bounced off of. They sold off of it. And they bought off here too right away, and it retraced back up and then came back down and hit S1. Okay, so let me make the chart big again, but let me get rid of these lines here. No, don't do that on me. Just delete for me. There we go. Okay, so now that we got that settled, okay, let me make it bigger. Well, I'll leave it this size for one more moment here. Now, here's another thing I want to tell you. Now, you see the pivot point indicator here, okay? This pivot, again, I'm going to say this, it paints at the start of the day. This R1, R2, R3, S1, S2, and S3 do not paint until the start of what you have it set on, okay? So I like to set it to 12 o'clock, which is 2 hours before the UK opens. And like I told you yesterday, you don't have to put it there. You can put it at another setting, okay? Just generally put it where, you know, in the center of your chart. So basically you can see it's not perfectly centered here, but it's almost in the center of the chart. It doesn't have to be in any perfect spot, okay? It doesn't have to be perfectly time set, okay? Because all that it's there for is showing you, the reason why it starts here and ends here, it's a 12-hour start and finish. And that's because the market moves basically between 12 midnight New York time and 12 noon midnight time. I have it starting at 12 midnight New York time. So in here, okay, so let's go into this indicator list, okay? And here it is right here, 1 hour Forex. So we click on edit, okay? So here's the thing that everybody's stumped on, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect. You could put it at -3. You could put it at -4. It's okay, okay? As long as you have it, you know, basically in the center of your day. This template shows the period separators, which is the start of the day and the end of the day, okay? So just basically fiddle around with these numbers in here, whatever broker you're using, -2, -3, -4, and just generally put it in the center of your chart, okay? Like what I'm trying to tell you here is, when this thing starts is not when you start to trade, okay? On page 22, I tell you the times when to start. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock. And then it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 10 o'clock in the U.S. session, okay? There's 3 opportunities in each session. And no, we don't trade the Asia session because it's useless, it's pointless. There's usually nothing going on. And if you do have a move, it's like a freak that happened, okay? Like on this day when it opened up in the Asia session, you know, it just collapsed down, okay? That doesn't usually happen, okay? Usually you get these small little moves like today, okay? It didn't really go anywhere. Let's measure the range, okay, of the Asia session. There, it was 40 pips. Usually it's less. There's some days where it's like 10 to 15 pips. Do you really want to try and trade that? I know I don't. So when that session's going on, I'm doing better things, like I'm out and about or doing whatever. Okay? So another thing I want to make clear, I hope I don't sound too wound up here, but I got so many emails. I got slammed with hundreds of emails of questions that I shouldn't even be getting, because if you all took the time to read the manual and watch the videos, you would know everything that you're asking me. But that's people for you. They want to take the shortcut. They just want to put something on the chart and plug and play, and the way we go. But that's how you're going to lose your money, you know, in this market. You got to take the time to learn the system, adapt to it, get a feel for it, okay, before you can win with it. If you just think you can just plop anything on and do it, well, you know, it's not that simple. I have other people who are saying, oh, you know, I changed the parameter inside the inputs box, and these lines don't move. They stayed the same. Well, of course they stayed the same. They're based on the previous day's data. No matter what you do, okay, with the parameters, it's not going to make them move up and down. All that it's going to do is make them move this, you know, sideways, back and forth, okay? And when this day's done and tomorrow starts, they're going to take this day's data, and then it's going to find your R1, R2, R3 on tomorrow's data when they start painting at whatever time you have it set at 12 o'clock. Because I have other people emailing me and saying, Well, I see the pivot indicator, but I don't see R1 and R2 and R3. Well, that's because it's not 12 o'clock yet, or whatever time you have it set at. So once that time appears, then they start to paint. Okay? The reason why I did that is so that you understand that this is generally the time when you need to look for trades. You don't want to trade before, and you don't want to trade after, because the market goes sideways in ranges. Okay? You know, a lot of people think, oh, Forex is open 24 hours a day. Yeah, it is, but it's not moving 24 hours a day. There's only like about 3 or 4 hours in the UK session where it moves, and then there's another 3 or 4 hours generally in the US session where it moves. The rest of the time, it usually goes sideways. Or like my friend Vladimir likes to say, it goes right. So anyway, I hope I cleared everything up here with all of you. I want to show you the trade signals now for today. Okay, so here is, okay, our 2 o'clock Frankfurt Open, as some people like to say it. I like to say the Dublin Open, but some people like to say Frankfurt in Germany. I got to get a little drink here. I just talked too much too fast. Okay, so this here, okay, there was no trade here because it opened up right here, okay, and it rallied up and it came back and closed a few pips higher, okay. Now if this, okay, if this would have opened up here, came down to somewhere around right here, okay, then came up, which it would have been red, okay, it would have turned red just like this candle, okay. If that would have happened, it would have opened up, turned red, came right to here, and then basically came back up and created a wick like this, and then turned blue. Then you would have entered long, and up it would have went, okay? So where would have your take profit would have been? Well, your take profit, okay, would have been either here, at this resistance, or here, okay, which is the pivot, or the 34 number, okay? Where would have your stop been? Well, your stop, if it did if that situation did, you know, actually happen, you would have had a wick here, okay? So at the wick or below right here, below this wick, you would have put your stop, you know, I like to put it 1 pip below the wick, because if it goes back down, that's it. That trade's done for me. But some people, they might want to you find your nearest swing low, and you would have put your stop a couple pips below that wick, okay? So that did not happen, okay? But if it would have, okay, you would have got in 1 pip right there, okay? It was 15 pips to here, and to up here, it was 30 pips if it would have hit the target. Which it didn't, so it came back. So if you had your target up here, you would have closed the trade at the close of the candle if it's winning or losing. So you would have had only a couple pips winning that you would have took, because you would have got out on the close of the candle. I hope everybody's following what I'm saying here. But for those of you who would have had your target here, you would have got 15 pips, okay? But there was no trade here because it did not come down here first and then go up. And then this doji candle here, I wasn't awake at this time, so maybe, you know, this is close enough to here and came back up. Maybe you did get long here, okay? If you did get long here, well, it didn't go very far, did it? You would have got out with like break even or losing 1 pip. But then look what happened. The next candle opened up and it went right to the target, okay? But a lot of times, okay, when a new hourly candle opens, a lot of times it will go in the opposite direction of the previous candle. This is why I say it's very important that you get out of the trade on the close of the candle. We're looking to make pips on this one particular candle from the open to the first 40 minutes. Okay? So anyway, there was no trade on this one either, because this here opened up and just rallied up and came back and closed here. Now, if this candle, okay, would have came down right to the bottom of this wick, it would have been red and then came back up and turned blue, Well, we would have got long right there, and right to the target it would have went. You would have made, but it did not happen, okay? But if it did, you would have made 22 pips to the pivot, okay? So anyway, also I want to tell you that once the candle, say the candle opened up and it was down here when it was red. So when it's red, what you could have done also is you can set a pending order 1 pip above the open of the candle, okay? And if it came back up within that first 40 minutes of the candle opening, then you could have got, your order would have got filled, your target would have been there, and then your stop would have been, you know, right there below the wick of the candle, or you could have adjusted it if your pending order got filled. Okay, so anyway, I'm just trying to paint some scenarios here of what would happen, okay, if these trades would have happened. But there was no trades in the UK session. I got an email today from someone saying, hey, I did a trade in the UK session. It worked. I made some pips. Well, good for you, but I don't know what you were trading, but you weren't trading this. So anyway, or you misunderstand how it works. You see, basically, when we're looking at the candle, we're only concentrating on that one candle, okay? So let's look at this candle now for an example. Okay, now this candle opened up here, okay? It ran up, it made a double top. So that's resistance, okay? So then, when it came back down, and then you would have sold, well, you would think you would have sold it there, but that wasn't our time to trade. This was the 7 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the morning candle. We start at 8 o'clock. This is the 8 o'clock candle right here. So a lot of people will look at this also, and they'll take what the previous candle bounced off of to get into this candle. Well, that's not how I trade this system. But if you want, you can adapt and use that in your system. You see it bounced off this major resistance, close lower, So you could have, basically, then this candle opened, it rallied up, and then when it turned red again, or when it breaks the low of this one, you could have got short because it bounced off of a major resistance. You could use these two candles, okay, as your criteria to get in the trade. So you would have got in the trade right there, 1 pip, okay, once it turned red, okay, and you would have taken 20 pips to the 33.50 level, okay? We use these lines for our take profits and our stops when we're trading this system, okay? So anyway, there was no trade on this candle the way I trade it because it would have had to gone up, say another 5 pips right up to here, right up to there, where it would have bounced off these 2 candles and basically the pivot, okay? So if this candle, once it opened up, went up just another 5 pips, I would have got short right here, okay, at 8 o'clock today. But that did not happen, okay? So anyway, then where was the trade? There was a trade today, and it was right on this candle, on the 9 o'clock candle. It's right here. Geez, I'm talking long here. I hope I don't go past my time for, what do you call it, YouTube. Okay, I have to wrap this up real quick now. Okay, so anyway, this candle opened up right here. I don't even know how much time I'm at here. When this candle opened up here, okay, it opened up, it rallied up. It basically almost came to 33.50, okay, within 4 pips or so. It came back, it turned red, okay? So then, look what it did. Came back. So once it turned red, 1 pip, you would have sold it, okay? I actually did this trade, okay? And then down it came, and it just missed the S1 by like a pip, okay? But do you see exactly where it bounced off of? The low of yesterday, right over here, okay? So anyway, I got in, and I took, I sold at 1 pip there, and I took about 15 or 16 pips. I closed it right here, and the reason why I closed it there is because it was hesitating and it was moving so slow. So to me, it didn't look like it was going to hit S1, so I just took my pips. Okay? And that's what you have to do sometimes too. You can't say, oh, it's going to hit that thing. You don't know for sure if it's going to hit that thing. It could have came 2 or 3 pips higher from S1. Nobody knows where price is going to turn around and go the other way. And there's an old saying in the market, if you don't take it, the market will. So sure enough, if you didn't take your pips there on this trade, it rallied right back up and you only would have had like 3 pips profit if you're lucky on the close. And then, of course, then it came back down and it finally penetrated just a couple pips through S1. So anyway, I hope you understand everything that I was teaching here today. I just want to say I'm going to do these videos daily for you, okay? I'm gonna try my best to keep teaching you day after day after day, and you're gonna learn how to do this. And it's not difficult. It's not hard. And there's something else I'd like to mention, but I think I've run out of time today. Tomorrow I'll tell you what I wanted to mention today. So anyway, you have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.